Chrisley Knows best star Chase Chrisley screamed at his sister, Savannah. What did she do that made him so angry? Read on to learn more. The latest episode of Chrisley Knows Best is all about sibling rivalry. The famous brother and sister duo has been in competition with each other for years. So, it would come as no surprise to viewers that they're back at it again. This time, their family feud gets so bad that the eldest son explodes at his sister. In a heated confession, he reveals that he's always getting upstaged. On Tuesday, November 2, USA Network shared the preview for the new episode of Chrisley Knows Best. Chase Chrisley looks so upset in the trailer. He told his family that he's had enough of them forgetting about his birthday. However, their birthdays couldn't be further apart. Savannah was born on August 11, 1997, while Chase was born on June 1, 1996. It's not Savannah's birthday that he's upstaged by. Rather, it's her launch party that has him all upset. He ends up exploding in the new clip that was first shared by Hollywood Life. Chase Chrisley reminds Savannah, Julie, and Todd Chrisley that his birthday is right around the corner. "I'm about to be 25. That's a big birthday," he informs them. His older sister jokes that she'll get him some bronzer for his birthday. Chase screams at her and says, "No, that's my day." He looks visibly upset at her response. Savannah reassured him that she's only having an online launch. As fans know, the Southern Beauty launched her makeup brand, Sassy by Savannah, in November 2020. The brand has been growing ever since. However, her online launch is more of a business deal. Chase's parents shouldn't forget about his birthday since that's still more of a big deal. Still, Chase Chrisley is not having it. He doesn't just want dinner and cake yet again for his birthday. That's not the point. Chase Chrisley tells them, "I always get upstaged. Even as a kid, I never had a party." Todd Chrisley tells him that his birthday is in the middle of the summer. The family often gathers at the beach house on his special day. "Who was we going to invite?" Todd asks. "Well, you know what? We never tried." Chase Chrisley fired back. The reality star admitted that he feels like he's living in Savannah's shadow, even though his birthday is before hers. He argued that his birthday is an afterthought in the Chrisley household. "It comes right after Memorial Day, and because of that, I've never had a big birthday party," Chase Chrisley continued. Savannah, on the other hand, lavished parties with ponies and petting zoos. Did Chase get that? Not a chance. Will Chase Chrisley finally get the birthday that he wants? How will Savannah's launch ruin it? Tune in to find out. Chrisley Knows Best. The Chrisley family has long been a source of reality TV fascination, known for their high drama dynamics and glittering Southern charm. But behind the polished veneers and witty one-liners lies a family tangled in complex emotions, loyalty struggles, and a legacy of public scrutiny. In a recent outburst that stunned fans and insiders alike, Chase Chrisley, typically seen as the laid-back, affable son of the embattled Chrisley Knows Best clan, erupted in anger at his sister, Savannah. While no words were exchanged publicly, sources close to the situation have revealed the deep undercurrents of tension that led to this explosive moment. The calm before the storm from the outside. Savannah and Chase have always appeared close. Their sibling bond, captured in countless episodes and interviews, gave the impression of an inseparable duo, partners in crime navigating fame, family drama, and personal hurdles together. Yet beneath the Instagram-filtered smiles and sibling banter, fractures have been forming for years. Those cracks widened after Todd and Julie Chrisley, their parents, were convicted on federal fraud charges in 2022 and began serving prison sentences. The siblings were left to pick up the pieces of their family's shattered legacy, each choosing different ways to manage the chaos. Savannah stepped forward as the de facto matriarch, taking custody of their younger siblings and attempting to steer the family brand forward through podcasts, social media, and high-profile interviews. Chase, on the other hand, receded somewhat from the spotlight. While Savannah leaned into advocacy and damage control, Chase grappled with personal instability, relationship breakups, financial confusion, and the internal conflict of reconciling public loyalty with private resentment. A powder keg waiting to ignite the event that finally ignited Chase's fury wasn't a sudden flare-up, but rather the culmination of months of private disagreements and growing emotional strain. While no cameras were rolling when the explosion occurred, those familiar with the situation say that it happened during a tense, private family meeting, an attempt to strategize the next phase of their public image and discuss parents. Savannah, ever the planner, allegedly dominated the conversation with her usual take-charge attitude, proposing another media blitz aimed at restoring their family name. She spoke of podcasts, press appearances, and brand partnerships, all meant to keep the Chrisley legacy alive. To her, this was more than strategy. It was survival, but for Chase, the discussion struck a raw nerve. After years of living under intense scrutiny, he had grown weary of performing for a world that, in his eyes, had already passed judgment. The push to keep branding the family's pain as content felt to him like exploitation. And worse, it felt like betrayal. The outburst no one saw coming, what began as passive resistance, morphed into something far more intense. Chase's silence gave way to mounting frustration as Savannah, unaware, or perhaps unwilling to acknowledge his inner turmoil, continued her monologue. With the emotional weight of unresolved grief, embarrassment, and the pressure to hold up a public persona, Chase snapped. The explosion, while silent to the public, reverberated like thunder among those present. Chase slammed his hands on the table, stormed from the room, and left no ambiguity about his anger. Those who witnessed it said it was the most animated and emotional they'd ever seen him. No words were exchanged, but the message was unmistakable. He was done being managed, done being silent, and done pretending everything was fine. The fury wasn't directed solely at Savannah's actions, but at what she had come to represent: control, image, and the relentless pursuit of public redemption at the cost of private healing. For Chase, her plan wasn't just misguided, it was suffocating. The deep roots of the rift understand why this outburst was so severe. It's essential to examine the emotional architecture of the Chrisley siblings' relationship. Chase and Savannah grew up in the same gilded cage, one built of camera lenses, scripted smiles, and an intense need to project perfection. Their childhoods were curated for entertainment. When reality finally collided with their carefully constructed reality TV personas, it was Savannah who doubled down and Chase who withdrew. Part of Chase's resentment lies in Savannah's unwavering support for their parents' innocence. While Chase loves Todd and Julie deeply, insiders claim he has privately expressed doubts about their choices and the way the family handled the crisis. Savannah, by contrast, has positioned herself as the voice of the family, defending their innocence with passion and purpose. This moral divergence has been a source of deep tension. Moreover, as Savannah ascended into the role of guardian for their younger siblings, Chase reportedly felt sidelined. Though not as publicly active, he still saw himself as a brother with a voice. Decisions about their family's future, made without his full input, became another layer of unresolved tension. Fame, family, and fracture. Chase's explosion, then, wasn't simply about a single conversation or a disagreement over strategy. It was about identity, autonomy, and the crushing burden of growing up in a family where love often had to compete with public perception. He wasn't just yelling at his sister. He was screaming at a system he never asked to be part of. While Savannah may have meant well, hoping to restore dignity and provide stability, her relentless optimism and leadership came at a cost. In her quest to save their family name, she overlooked the emotional exhaustion her brother was carrying. Chase, the one who had always played the joker, the light-hearted one, finally revealed the weight behind his smile. The irony is that in trying to hold the family together, Savannah may have unknowingly pushed her brother away. And in exploding, Chase wasn't just reacting to her, but to the years of pressure, guilt, and invisibility he had quietly endured. The aftermath, the fallout from the confrontation, remains largely private. The family has made no public comments about the incident, and both Chase and Savannah have continued posting on social media as if nothing occurred. But those close to them suggest a quiet distance has since settled between the siblings. Savannah, ever the strategist, has leaned into her work more than ever. She's doubled down on the family podcast, secured new sponsorship deals, and has continued advocating for prison reform, especially related to her parents' case. Chase, meanwhile, has been spotted spending more time with friends outside the spotlight, pursuing business ventures unrelated to the Chrisley brand. Whether the siblings will reconcile is unclear. Their love for each other is real, but so is the pain that now sits between them. In many ways, their conflict mirrors the larger crisis of their family. Two people trying to navigate the wreckage of a public implosion, each in their own way, with vastly different emotional toolkits.